Sure, here's the text form of the improved passage. Number 1 on our list of Bible characters who avoided death is Elijah. Picture this, a time when Israel was stuck in a pretty rough patch. God singled out Elijah. Now Israel had this not-so-great king named Ahab, making things worse. Elijah, a Tishbite from Gilead, a real underdog in the Transjordan region, turned out to be one of Israel's top prophets. Kings, the book, spills more ink on his life than most of the kings combined, even though there isn't a whole book dedicated just to him. But the highlight reel of his life, that showdown with Baal's prophets on Mount Carmel, making him a bit of a celebrity. Now, King Ahab, he mixed in some idealism into a system that was supposed to follow God's plan because, the Israelites were supposed to be God's people. But with Ahab at the helm, things were a mess. Poor governance, suffering people. Elijah, though, different story. No political connections, no royal family ties. He had this uncanny ability to speak truth to power without getting tangled up in the political web. Bold, truthful, and not afraid to challenge authority, Elijah stood for a different kingdom with a unique agenda. He wasn't just a hero, he was about to break the mold. How? By dodging death. Elijah's exit from this world was something else, putting him in the rare category of those who skipped the whole dying thing. God didn't exactly give us the play-by-play on how this went down, but it's clear from the context that Elijah knew what was coming. God spilled the beans to the sons of the prophets, and Elisha, Elijah's close buddy and divinely picked successor, got the heads up too. Check out 2 Kings 2, 1-12 for the full scoop. As the moment approached for the Lord to take Elijah up to heaven in a whirlwind, Elijah and Elisha were on their way from Gilgal. Here, we find ourselves at Elijah's final day on earth, where he would be carried away in a whirlwind, or as the Hebrew implies, in a gust or windy moment, swept up and gone from this earthly realm into God's presence. God not only forewarned Elijah about this event, but also provided the location. Hence, we see Elijah swiftly moving toward the Jordan River. Now, let's dive into the narrative and visualize the unfolding scene as described in 2 Kings 2:6, Amplified Bible. Elijah, turning to Elisha, says, "Please stay here, for the Lord has sent me to Bethel." But Elisha, with determination, replies, "As the Lord lives and as your soul lives, I will not leave you." So down to Bethel they go. At Bethel, the sons of the prophets approach Elisha, whispering, "Do you know that the Lord will take your master away from you today?" Elisha, resolute, responds, "Yes, I know it. Be quiet about it." Elijah then tells Elisha, "Stay here, for the Lord has sent me to Jericho." Elisha, unwavering, declares, "As the Lord lives and as your soul lives, I will not leave you." And off they go to Jericho. In Jericho, the sons of the prophets again approach Elisha, stating, "Do you know that the Lord will take your master away from you today?" Elisha calmly replies, "Yes, I know it. Be quiet about it." Once more, Elijah urges Elisha to stay, saying, "The Lord has sent me to the Jordan." And Elisha, resolute as ever, responds, "As the Lord lives and as your soul lives, I will not leave you." Together they press on to the Jordan. The sons of the prophets posed the same question to Elisha in both Bethel and Jericho, asking, "Do you know that the Lord will take away your master from over you today?" Elisha responded consistently both times, saying, "Yes, I know. Now please be quiet." Starting this journey at Gilgal, a significant point in biblical history according to Joshua 4, where the Israelites camped safely after crossing the Jordan into Canaan, it's a starting point before venturing into enemy territory. Bethel, the next stop, signifies a place of prayer, literally meaning God's house. Finally, Elijah heads to the Jordan, not just a place of physical death, but symbolizing the death of the self-life. As they arrive at the Jordan, Elisha firmly declares to Elijah, "As the Lord lives, I will not leave you." Despite Elijah's attempts to distance himself from Elisha since Gilgal, it wasn't about getting rid of him, but testing his close companion and future successor. Now the scene takes a miraculous turn, described in 2 Kings 2:7-10, Amplified Bible. 50 men of the sons of the prophets also went and stood opposite them to watch at a distance, and the 2 of them stood by the Jordan. Elijah took his mantle coat, rolled it up, and struck the waters. They parted, and the 2 crossed over on dry ground. After crossing, Elijah said to Elisha, "Ask what you want before I am taken from you." Elisha responded, "Please, let a double portion of your spirit be upon me." Elijah responds to Elisha's request, saying, "You have asked for a difficult thing. However, if you see me when I am taken from you, it shall be so for you. But if not, it shall not be so." This echoes a miraculous event from centuries ago when God parted the Red Sea, allowing Moses and the Israelites to walk across on dry land. Similarly, the Jordan's waters part, enabling Elijah and Elisha to cross. As they continue their journey, Elijah, in a moment of intimacy, asks Elisha, "What can I do for you before I go, before the Lord takes me from this earth?" 2 Kings 2:11, Amplified Bible. Continuing their conversation, a spectacular sight unfolds. Behold, a chariot of fire with horses of fire appeared suddenly, separated the two of them, and Elijah went up to heaven in a whirlwind. It's a remarkable moment, not filled with preaching or prophesying, just two close friends walking and talking together. In an instant, Elijah ascends to heaven. Elisha, witnessing this, exclaims, my father, the chariot of Israel and its horsemen," and Elijah is no longer visible. Grieving, Elisha tears his clothes, picks up Elijah's mantle that fell, and stands by the bank of the Jordan. Taking up the mantle, Elisha strikes the waters, saying, "Where is the Lord, the God of Elijah?" Miraculously, the waters part, allowing Elisha to cross. The sons of the prophets at Jericho, witnessing this, declare, "The spirit of Elijah rests on Elisha." 2 Kings 2:12-15 Amplified Bible. Upon Elisha's return, people met him, bowing down to the ground in respect. Elijah's no-death contract took immediate effect. It's a reminder that nothing of God dies when a person of God passes away. Elisha stands as a prime example of God always having a plan. In every era, God raises individuals to carry on his work, ensuring his plan never falters. Elisha, momentarily taken aback, quickly regains composure. He picks up Elijah's cloak, remembering his mentor's words. Crossing the Jordan again, he claims the power bestowed upon him, launching his own prophetic ministry. Exit Elijah, enter Elisha. God's plan unfolds seamlessly. Now onto the second character who sidestepped death, Enoch. The initial mention of Enoch is in Genesis 5, distinct from Cain's son, Enoch. This Enoch, at 65, became the father of Methuselah, the longest living man in biblical records, and Noah's great-grandfather. Jude 14, Amplified Bible, sheds light on Enoch's prophetic stance. In the seventh generation from Adam, Enoch foresaw the Lord's judgment, warning about it. Amid moral decay in Noah's time, Enoch walked with God and spoke of the impending judgment. In an era where many were simply noted for their birth and the subsequent generations they bore, Enoch stands out as a breath of fresh air. His introduction is brief, but his testimony is striking, signifying a profound, pure walk with God that translated into something extraordinary. His life provides a timeless template, encouraging people across generations to live for an audience of one. Enoch teaches us the value of passionately seeking intimate communion and companionship with God, unlocking new dimensions of experience with the divine. Genesis 5:18-24, Amplified Bible, unfolds the remarkable account of Enoch's life. Jared, Enoch's father, became a parent at 162, and Enoch at 65 became the father of Methuselah. Enoch walked in habitual fellowship with God for 300 years, living a total of 365 years. In reverent fear and obedience, he walked with God and was eventually not found among men. God took him away, marking the first documented rapture. The book of Hebrews pays tribute to Enoch, describing him as a man of whom the world was not worthy. Hebrews 11:5-6 Amplified Bible emphasizes that by his faith that pleased God, Enoch was caught up and taken to heaven, avoiding death and leaving an enduring legacy of faith. Even before Enoch was taken to heaven, he received a lasting testimony that he had walked with God and pleased him. This underscores a fundamental truth: without faith it's impossible to walk with God and please him. Approaching God necessitates a belief in his existence and the assurance that he rewards those earnestly and diligently seeking him. 2 Chronicles 16:9, Amplified Bible, reinforces this reassurance. For the eyes of the Lord move to and fro throughout the earth, so that he may support those whose heart is completely his. God's provision and watchful care are ample for his own, ensuring our growth in miraculous ways. While God lavishes goodness upon us, He desires an honest and unpretentious response to His love. John 4:23. 24 speaks of a time when true worshippers will worship the Father and Spirit from the heart, in truth and in spirit. God seeks faithful and loyal seeds who live their lives wholly for Him, vessels through which He can manifest His glory. Enoch, an exception to the fate of Adam's descendants, serves as an example of the rapture in the New Testament. Enoch's translation emphasizes the ultimate redemption for all who place their faith in the Lord, reinforcing the truth of Scripture. Enoch's example provides believers with hope, suggesting that despite the physical passing of the vast majority, they will ultimately triumph over death. Moving on to the third instance, Christians in the end times. Recorded prophecy unfolds, yet to come to pass. While the timing remains uncertain, believers, both those who have died and those still alive, will experience a rapture together, as detailed in 1 Thessalonians 4:13. 18, Amplified Bible. In this event, believers who have previously died in Jesus will rise first, joining those still alive. The Lord will descend from heaven with a shout, the archangel's voice, and the trumpet blast of God. The resurrected and living believers will be caught up, raptured together, to meet the Lord in the air. This union ensures that believers will always be with the Lord. Whether through physical passing or the anticipated rapture, believers can find comfort and encouragement in the prospect of reunion with those who have died. So in either case, believers will experience the rapture. Certainly, during that time, akin to Enoch, Christians will be caught up in the air. Enoch's translation serves as a prefiguration of an entire generation of believers who will not experience physical death, mirroring the anticipated rapture described in biblical prophecy.